Just one moment.
Guys, usually in online class, if you show your face, this is not a school math. It's a private class. That's why we need to see each other's face. And for me, it's fine. But if I see your face, sometimes we may have discussion. I may ask you some questions. Okay. So you should feel relaxed. You're so tired, you can just have your tea, drink water, and just lie down for a few minutes. It's fine. Okay. Because when I'm teaching, if I don't see your face, it's a bit weird. Anyway, guys, let's continue. Musa and Imran, if you are ready. So we were talking about expansion and factorization of algebraic expressions. We did a few examples last time, and we did expansion of algebraic expressions and perfect squares and blah, blah, blah. And we were doing 3.7, right? That is problem solving involving quadratic equations. And after that, we have a few questions in chapter 1 in review. That is review questions 3. We will see. If you think that we need to practice more problems, I may actually solve more problems and show you. Or if you have anything to discuss with me, we may have some discussion. Okay. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm awfully sorry. By mistake, I just tap on 4G and disconnected.
Okay.
Okay. So, all right, let's get back to our class. Anyway, we were solving word problems leading to quadratic equations, because last time we studied how to solve quadratic equations by factorization. Okay, and later, actually, we will just consider a general case, how we solve quadratic equations using a formula. All right. So Imran and Musa, once again, solving this kind of problems are really important. Why? Number one, it really improves your problem solving skill, because just solving quadratic equations, as you see, we are just using the same technique, all right, solving a lot of the same questions. It doesn't actually help you much to improve your thinking skill. But here, when we are solving these word problems, all right, every time you see a different problem. And also at the same time, you improve your vocabulary, okay? And also, when you just solve many different questions, like related to different topics, maybe here we are talking about word problems involving quadratic equations, and later we will talk about word problems involving algebraic fractions, and then maybe later exponentials and blah, 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 right? So you're just reading the problem. After that, immediately you have to interpret this into algebraic equation or into math language, and that thing is a big thing. All right, when you just, as you see, you will actually, as you practice more and more word problems, you will have more self-confidence in yourself. You see that, okay, when you just look at the problem, I can understand, okay, I can translate this into math language, I can model this mathematically, and I can solve this. And that is a long-term benefit for you. It's not only for now, only for your school. In the future, when you're just going to sit for some kind of international exams, or when you just go to college or university, and this will help you a lot. Why am I saying this? Daphne, welcome back. Long time.
Hi.
Are you back to Azerbaijan, or you're joining class from Turkey?
No, I'm back to Azerbaijan.
Very good.
I tried to join it in the Turkey, but my internet connection wouldn't last long, so.
Okay, good. We will listen to you about your journey a bit later. Okay, maybe the last 5 minutes you can talk about how you spend your vacation in Turkey. All right. So, all right, guys, let's continue. Maybe I'll talk more about how important it is to solve problems. Okay, I mean word problems like this. So let's do a few more questions. Another question. I'll just keep solving this. If you don't understand any question anytime, please stop me and you can ask, okay? Then we can just stop and have some discussion. In this problem, it says that Find the whole number. So immediately when you just say find the whole number, we should be able to imagine those numbers, right? That is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are whole numbers, such that twice its square, where's my mouse? Okay, twice its square added to itself makes 10. So now I suppose that that whole number is, let's say, what is it? It can be anything, x, y, t, z. But here, let me just denote this with w. Okay, so twice its square added to itself. So that is twice, that is 2 times its square, 2w squared, and added to itself. Here we have w. That makes 10. That means that it will produce the value of 10. So that's equal to 10 here. So the whole thing here, such that the twice is square added to itself makes 10, is described by this equation. Okay, that's why a single equation in math, it may describe a lot of different problems. Maybe the same equation, but a lot of different problems. So that is actually what we have done here is we read the problem, we understood the problem, and we actually introduced a suitable variable to denote the unknown. What is our variable here? That is w, right? That means we are using algebra here. And after that, we form our equation. Now, the next step is we have to solve it. And just solving also is not enough, right? After we solve this, we may get maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 solutions, and we have to check our answer is suitable or does it match with the problem or not. I mean, for example, if you're talking about the age of people, so we don't use fractions, right, for the age of people. If you're talking about the length of geometric figures, then it should be positive, right? And if you're talking about, let's say, the distance, right, and also it must be, I don't know, suitable with the suitable answer. Anyway, so that is our equation. Now, what is it? It's quadratic equation. So let me just write this in standard form. 2w squared plus w minus 10 is equal to 0. So now, actually, we expect that all questions here are, what is it, can be solved by factorization. So here 2w squared is just a prime number. The only way to write this as a product of two algebraic expressions, that is 2w and w. So I need to factor this 10 in such a way that when we cross multiply and their sum should give us this w, right, middle term. So what is it here? 5, 2. I think it works. So it is 5 and 2. So it is positive. Let me put minus here. When you cross multiply, 5 times w plus 2w times negative 2, their sum equals w, right? So we can factorize the quadratic equation as 2w plus 5 times w minus 2 is equal to 0. Now from here, w equals negative 5 over 2, or w is equal to 2. Now we have two solutions, right? Which one should we pick as the answer? And in the question, it says that our number is a whole number, and negative 5 over 2 is not a whole number, right? So this answer is inadmissible, or we just say that rejected, or we just say that rejected. We don't take this as an answer. So that is a suitable answer. So find the whole number. So that whole number is dot, dot, dot. That number is 2, right? As I say here, 2, and square it, it is 4, and 2 times 4, it is 8, and add itself, right? That number to 2 times w squared, that gives us 10.
Can I ask
Another
the question?
Yes.
I did it in another way, but I got the same results. I know this way too, but I haven't used it in a while. Can I use it? Like, I know this way, but I didn't know that you could use it in this kinds of like questions.
I mean, you did this without forming quadratic equation, or solving quadratic equation is different?
Yes, solving the quadratic information.
How did you solve this? By factorization or using formula?
Yeah, by factorization. I did not use a formula, but
okay. How did you factorize it?
So I firstly put it the 2 in to the other side. When it was multiplication, when it went to the other side, it makes it division. So I got x or w squared plus w equals to 10 divided by 2, which makes x plus w squared equals to 5.
Okay.
And then when I have to send the square to the other side, I have to make it the opposite, so square it.
It's a long way, but
to
here,
use it to
when you
root.
factorize, maybe a bit different way you can factorize this, but that is the shortest way to factorize it. Because last time we proved this in general, right? If you're given quadratic equation, here ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. And we expect that we can factorize this quadratic equation, and we have two linear factors here, right? And we just expand this again, we will have something like this. Here we have mx and x, here we have p and q. So that when we just cross multiply them and add them, it must give us the middle term. And then maybe some different ways, definitely is fine. But well, for me, this method is very practical and very short and very fast. And some people actually, they just may factorize in different way. But if you are fine with that way, it's also fine. Okay, here, I don't say that that is the only way. Okay, just have a look which method is faster and easier, and you just pick your choice. Okay, maybe later, Daphne, you can just write it down or take a picture, send it to me. I'll see it. I will see it. Okay, now the paper, just take a picture and send to my WhatsApp. I'll have a look. Okay. Now
I have another question. Yeah,
yes.
I have. Can you? Yeah. How did you get a -5?
Over 2.
I mean, yeah.
Here, when we are solving quadratic equation, right, the main idea is we have to actually write it as a product of two things. Here we have the product of two things, right? Let's say the first part is P, the second part is Q. And we know that in algebra, if P times Q is equal to 0, so either this P must be equal to 0 or Q must be equal to 0. Or maybe both at the same time, it can be 0. Either means at least one of them is equal to 0. So just I'm using this idea, this logic, because the product of two numbers is equal to 0 if and only if at least one of those numbers is equal to 0. Otherwise, if you multiply two non-zero numbers, the result is never 0. It's always non-zero number, right? So here, two things are multiplied here. 2w plus 5 times, here we have w minus 2 is equal to 0. That's our first algebraic expression, and that's the second one. When their product is equal to 0, if and only if either 2w plus 5 is equal to 0 or w minus 2 is equal to 0. And what are these? These are linear equations, right? And I assume that you know how to solve linear equations. In general, if you're given linear equation, ax plus b is equal to 0. What is x? X equals negative b over a. Just take b to the right-hand side. That's negative b, and divide both sides by a. So we get a. So I'm just using this. So here 2w plus 5 equals 0. What is w? W equals negative 5 over 2. Or the second expression, when w minus 2 equals 0, if w equals 2, right? 2 minus 2 is equal to 0. So w is equal to 2. Okay, Imran? Good.
Okay.
Let's continue. Another question. Musa, would you like to read this question?
Find two consecutive positive numbers such as the sum of the square is equal to 113.
Okay. It says that find two, right? Consecutive, that followed by another one. Consecutive means this. Positive numbers such that the sum of their squares is equal to 113. So actually positive numbers, what are these numbers? If you just write here 1, 2, 3, 4, dot, dot, dot. If this number is n, next number should be n plus 1, right? And the difference between any two consecutive numbers here, it is 1. So we are talking about these two numbers. These numbers are consecutive numbers because they are followed by each other. I mean, this n is followed by n plus 1, right? So these two numbers are consecutive. So it says that the sum of their squares, so that is, these are the squares, and that is the square of the second number, and the sum of the squares of these numbers is equal to 113, right? So that's a question. Of course, understanding this now, again, introducing a suitable variable, forming the equation. When you just listen, it may look, I mean, it may seem easy. But when you just read and try to do this, you will see that it's not so easy. I mean, if it is easy for you, that means that you need to go to a bit more challenging questions. Okay. Anyway, that is how we model this problem. Now we have to solve this. To do this one again, we have to do some algebraic manipulation and bring this into a standard form and do this. So here we have n squared plus, if you expand this, here we have n squared plus 2 times n plus 1. And also take 113 to the left-hand side. Here we have minus 113. Here we have 0. So n squared plus n squared, that is 2n squared, and plus 2n, 1 minus 113, that is negative 112, is equal to 0. And one more time, just have a look. Can we simplify the equation further or not? As you see here, all numbers in the equation, they are divisible by 2. By dividing both sides by 2, we can simplify this further, right? Because in math, that's the main logic. Always before solving the equation, we have to simplify as much as possible. Then we have to try to solve it. So if you divide both sides by 2, here we have n squared plus n minus, what is it, 56 is equal to 0. As you see here, the coefficient of n squared is equal to 1. So just we need to find two numbers whose product is negative 56 and their sum is 1. Musa, can you tell me two numbers whose product is negative 56 and their sum is 1?
Hmm.
So immediately you have to just factor this 56. 1 times 56 doesn't work. 2 times 28 doesn't work. 7 times 8, it works, right? So I can write it as 8 times negative 7. How about here? 8 plus negative 7. So it works. So that means I can factorize it as n plus 8 times n minus 7 is equal to 0. Now, if you check this, n times n squared, n times negative 7, negative 7n, 8 times n, 8n, the sum equals n, 8 times negative 7, that's equal to negative 56. That's correct. So here, n equals negative 8, because negative 8 plus 8 is equal to 0, or n is equal to 7. But here again in the question, it says positive. We are talking about positive numbers. So this answer does not match, right? So our requirements. So that is rejected. So that is our answer. So it says find two consecutive numbers. So dot, dot, dot. If the first number is 7, second number would be n plus 1, which is 8. As I say here, if you just add their squares, 7 squared 49 plus 8 squared 64, their sum is equal to 113. Okay, let's move to the next question. Find two consecutive positive odd numbers here, such that the sum of their squares is 64. Okay, here we know that these are odd numbers, 1, 3, 5. If this number is, let's say, m, next number should be m plus 2, because the difference between any two consecutive numbers here, or terms here, it is 10. So actually we are talking about these numbers. And what numbers are they? We don't know, but we know that they are consecutive odd numbers. And also in the question it says that the sum of their squares, right? So here we have m squared plus m plus 2 squared is equal to 74. And quickly, let's just expand this and simplify. Maybe I will do some stuff mentally here. Here we have m squared plus m squared. So here we have 2 times m squared, 2 times m times 2, that is 4m. And here we have 4, take 74 to the left-hand side, 4 minus 74, that's equal to negative 70. That's equal to 0. And of course, now at this level, you should do some steps mentally. You don't have to write every step. So now divide both sides by 2. What do we have here? M squared plus 2m minus 35 is equal to 0. Now the coefficient of m squared, that is a leading variable here, term here, is equal to 1. So Daphne, can you tell me two numbers whose product is negative 35 and their sum is positive 2?
Can you repeat it again? I couldn't hear it.
Can you tell me two numbers whose product is negative 35 and their sum is 2?
I'm pretty sure one should be negative something. But
Now 35, immediately factor this. How can I factorize this? I can just factorize it as 1 times 35 or 5 times 7. Do we have any other way to factor 35? No. So either those numbers must be this pair or this pair. But here, as you see here, the difference between these two numbers is 2. So
okay.
it should be 7 and negative 5. And how about here? 7 plus negative 5. As you see here, 7 times negative 5 equals negative 35. 7 plus negative 5 is equal to 2. So we found two numbers whose product is negative 35 and sum is this. Okay. And why we are doing so? Because actually, I'm just writing this 2m in such a way that here we have m squared. This 2m, I can write it as minus 5m plus 7m, right? Here, minus 35. This is called algebraic manipulation. Actually, I'm just doing like this. We know how to factorize this. Here, common factor is m. Here, common factor is 7. So here we have m minus 5 plus, here common factor is 7, m minus 5 is equal to 0. Now m minus 5, that's a common factor. M minus 5, m plus 7 is equal to 0. But here we are just doing this in a shorter way. Since it is so, we have already proved, maybe Daphne, you were absent in that class, proved that if p times q equals this number, p plus q equals this number, then we can factorize it as m plus 7, m minus 5. That's equal to 0. From here, m equals negative 7 or m equals 5. Again, here we are talking about positive number. So it cannot, actually, this answer cannot be accepted. So that is rejected or not accepted or inadmissible. So that is our answer. In the question, they are asking two numbers, right? Find two positive numbers. So dot, dot, dot. The first odd number is 5. Since we are talking about consecutive odd numbers, second one should be 7. So these are the numbers. As you see here, 5 squared, 25, plus 7 squared, 49, and their sum is equal to 74. Okay. All right, very good. How many questions we have here? 14. Okay, not bad. Okay. Another question. Find two consecutive positive even numbers such that the sum of their squares. Now, we don't have to talk in detail. Directly, we just solve this. Since we are talking about consecutive positive even numbers, if the first number is n, second number should be n plus 2. So the sum of their squares, n squared plus n plus 2 squared is equal to 164. Definitely a question for you. Do you think that we can write in some different way so that we will get simpler equation?
No, I don't think there's a simpler way. Wait.
Okay, let me just simplify this one. What do we got here?
Can't we
N
put
squared.
n square also inside of the brackets?
What do you mean?
Like it's already n square and there's another square, so we can put it inside of the brackets and make the square go up too. Like, so it will be n plus n, which is 2n plus 2 in brackets square equals to 164. And then we will both put those in squares. No, put those both in roots. Then it will become 2n plus 2 equals
You're
to
saying like this?
82. No, 42. Yes, like that.
Are you sure? Are you kidding me? A squared plus b squared is not equal to a plus b squared.
Oh, yeah.
What is a plus b squared? That's equal to a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. Right? That's not correct. Anyway, I was just trying to say that, and that just this idea came. It's also fine. We can just solve this in this way. But let's say we are talking about two numbers. That is the first number and that's the second number. And right, and the difference between these two numbers, we know that it is positive 2. Okay, so now how about if I just denote the first number by n minus 1? What will be the next number? Imran, what is n minus 1 plus 2? What is
n
n
minus 1.
minus 1 plus 2? That's equal to n plus 1, right? And this is the kind of, we are just using
Yeah.
the trick here. Since n minus 1, the next number should be n plus 1. Now at that time, see what happens here. Let me just use different color here. What happens here? Actually, I'm just showing this to give you some idea, and in different ways, also making some trick, we can solve this much faster. What happens here then? The sum of their squares, that is n minus 1 squared plus n plus 1 squared is equal to 164. Now, if you simplify this, what will happen here? N squared minus 2n plus 1. The second one is n squared plus 2n plus 1. On the right hand side, we have 164, right? But as you see here, these middle terms, they cancel out each other. And we have only one n, which is much, much easier to solve, right? N squared plus n squared, that is 2n squared. And here we have 1 plus 1, 2. Take to the right hand side. 164 minus 2, that is 162. If you divide both sides by 2, here we have n squared equals 81. And what number square is 81? So n equals 9 or n equals negative 9. But in the question we are talking about, again, positive numbers. So this one is rejected, right? So I mean, that's another way, just 9. So actually that's not the answer. I had to substitute that 9 here to get the answer. So if you substitute here, what are those numbers? Dot, dot, dot. If n equals 9, 9 minus 1, the first number is 8. And 9 plus 1, the second number is 10. As you see here, 8 squared plus 10 squared is equal to 164. Even if you solve this, you will get the same answer. Divide both sides by 2. N squared plus 2n minus 80 is equal to 0. And can we just say two numbers whose product is 80 and their sum is 2? That is 10 and negative 8, right? So that is n plus 10 and the n minus 8. That's equal to 0. From here, n equals negative 10 or n equals 8. So that answer is rejected. At the time, dot, 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 the first number is 8, second number is 10. The same answer, but actually this method is much faster, if you could see this. Okay? Okay, Daphne, is it clear? All right, another question. The difference between two numbers is 9. And the product of the numbers is 162. Find the two numbers. Imran, how would you actually introduce your variables? How would you translate that thing into mathematical expression? The difference between two numbers is 9 and the product of the numbers is 162. Find the numbers. So if the first number is, let's say it is x, what is the second number?
X plus 9
X plus 9, right? Very good, because the difference is 9. And it
or
says in the
X minus
question
9.
also x minus 9, but usually you try to use plus because so that it's not so confusing. Using minus, usually a lot of students, they may get confused. So since we can be positive, no need to be negative, right?
Yes.
Anyway, this is another, how to say, joke. So here, the product of these numbers, that is x times x plus 9, is equal to 162. And again, if you just do some manipulation, expand the left-hand side, take 162 to the left-hand side, we have a quadratic equation. So here we have x squared plus 9x minus 162 is equal to 0. Okay. So can we find two numbers again whose product is 162 and their sum is 9? To do this one, I can just do like this, 162. I can write it as 2 times 81, or 81 is 2 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, right? That is 81. Now I can just think the combination of these numbers. So the difference is 9. What is it here? How about if I choose like this? This sum, 2 times 3 times 3, that's equal to 18. And 3 times 3, that's equal to 9. 18 times 9, 162. The difference is 9. Actually, we have already found the answer. Anyway, if you substitute here, that is 18 times minus 9. And this one is 18 plus minus 9. So I can factorize it as x minus 9, x plus 18, that's equal to 0. So x equals 9 or x equals negative 18. Okay, so if x equals 9, let's say the first one, if x equals 9, second number should be 18. If x equals negative 18, second number should be 18 plus minus 18 plus 9, that is minus 9. Musa, question for you. Which one should we pick as an answer? This one or this one? Or both?
Both, because no, no.
Both,
Hmm.
right?
Because I'm not saying that it's positive or negative.
No, because here in the question, it didn't say anything. Actually, it should be positive or negative. That means that the numbers can be anything. So actually here, we need to pick both answers. So your answer must be like this. So those numbers are 9, 18, or negative 9, negative 18. And both are the possible answers. Because in the question, it doesn't say that they are positive or negative, right? That's why we have to write all the answers.
I have a
Okay?
question.
Yes.
Why here x is x minus 9 here and x plus 18.
Now here, look, I'm just factorizing this quadratic expression right here. So how do you factorize this? So I found two numbers, 18 and negative 9. Their product is negative 162, and their sum is 9. At the time, we can factorize it as x minus 9, x plus 18, right?
Okay.
Okay.
Understand. Yeah.
Because here again, here we have x squared plus bx plus c on the right hand side. As you know, I'm just hoping that we can factorize it like this, x plus p and x plus q. When we expand this, we have here x squared plus p plus q x plus p times q. So here p plus q equals b, p times q equals c. Then if it is so, then we can factorize it as x plus p and x plus q. Okay, what time is it now? 44. Guys, are you tired? Would you like to have some break, or shall we finish the class? Let's have break. Okay, it's 3-minute break. Let's drink some water. Also, I'm a bit thirsty. And we will continue after 3 minutes. If you want, you can, if you are not tired, you can try this question. If you are tired, have some rest. Okay. All right, Musa, Imran, Defna, let's continue. Maybe we will finish 7 and 8 and 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, I don't think we can finish all the questions, but you just try those questions. Let's try to solve 3 questions, 7, 8, and 9, and after that I will stop. Okay. Imran, maybe you are busy with school stuff, even if you cannot practice other questions, but at least try to solve these questions. Okay, these are from, I will send you some other questions now. All right, especially word problems, try to practice at least. And if you can solve all the questions, it would be great. But if you're too busy, I have nothing to say. So,
Okay.
in this question, okay, a rectangular field, 70 meters long and 50 meters wide, has a path of uniform width around it. Okay, here we have rectangular field, right? And its length is 70 meters and 50 meters. That's a piece of land. And maybe you're going to make some kind of pool, maybe swimming pool, or I don't know, a flower garden, something. Anyway, if the area of the path, is 896 square meters, find the width of the path. Actually, in this question, this figure was not given. But a lot of times when I ask this question to the students, they get confused because they just think that actually the area, and after that area of this 70 meters by 50 meters is again surrounded by the path. It is not like that. We have a piece of land here in rectangular shape, and its length is 70 meters, width is 50 meters. So that is our land, okay? So here we are making something, maybe we are making some kind of pool. So that area actually we are going to use for water, and also we need to have some kind of path around it, right, for walking. Anyway, that's a question. So, so excuse me. If the area of the path is 896 square meters, find the width of the path. Okay. So here the question is, we need to find the width of the path. What is it? Let's say this width is equal to x. So it says uniform, right? It means that everywhere it is the same. X, also here it is x, also here it is x. So the area of the path is 896. How do you find the area of the path? So here, area of the path, let me just write here P. What is it? The whole area, right? The area of the rectangle that is 70 times 50 minus, we have to remove this unshaded part, right? And what is the unshaded part? It's also a rectangle shape, but that is equal to 70. We just cut off x meters from the left hand side, x meter from the right hand side. So that is 70 minus 2x, right? And how about the width of this internal part? That is actually 50. So it is 50 minus, from here it is x, from here it is x. So that's equal to 2x. So the area of this unshaded part is equal to, what is it? 50 minus 2x times 70 minus 2x. And it says that the area of the path is 896. So this area is equal to 896. That is the most important step here. Once we write the equation, the rest is just algebraic manipulation. Simplify this, bring into a standard form, and solve it. Okay, that's the question. So now let's simplify this. Here we have 70 times 50. If you expand this, 50 times 70, with this minus, it is 50 times 70. Intentionally, I'm not multiplying this. As you see here, they're going to cancel out each other, right? So 50 times minus 2x, it is minus 100x, plus, with this minus, it is plus 100x. Minus 2x times 70 minus 140, with this minus, it is plus 140x. Minus 2x times minus 2x, that is 4x squared, with this minus, minus 4x squared. And here we have 896. So these two numbers, they are gone, right? And take everything to the right hand side. Here we have 4x squared, 100 plus 140, this 240, minus 240x plus 896 is equal to 0. Okay. And as you see here, all numbers are divisible by 4. Let's just divide both sides by 4. Here we have x squared minus 60x plus, if you divide this by 4, when it is actually 900, 900 is divided by 4 is 225, but actually it's 4 less, so that is 224. That's equal to 0. So now we have to factorize. It's a bit big number, but it's fine. Again, how do we do that? 2, 2, 4, prime factorization, divide by 2, 1, 1, 2, divide by 2, 5, 6, divide by 2, 2, 8, divide by 2, 14, divide by 2, 7, divide by 7, it is 1. Okay, so we need to find two numbers whose product is 2, 2, 4, and the sum is minus 64. Now from here, as you see, both numbers must be negative, right? Because here it is positive, so that when we multiply two negative numbers together, it will be positive. What are these numbers? How about here, 2 times 2 times 2, that is 8, and 4 times 7, 28. It doesn't work. And how about 2 times 2 times 2 and 7, that is 56, and that thing is 4. 4 times 56, that is 224, right? So I can write it as minus 4 times minus 56. As you see here, minus 60 is minus 4 plus minus 56. Two numbers. So here we can write it x minus 4 times x minus 56. That's equal to 0. From here, x equals 4 or x equals 56. Imran, what do you think? Which one is the answer here? Both or one of them? Which
I
one should we pick
think
as an answer? Here we have 4 and 56. This equation has two solutions. Which one will be the answer?
I think both.
Both. Daphne, how about you?
I think it can be 4.
And why not 56?
I don't know. In 896, it just feels way too much.
Musa, how about you? Do you have any idea?
I can't understand in triangle. Why you are 70 minus 2x? I can't understand this.
Because here, if you just take the whole length, what is it? It is 50, right? If I just cut off this part, which is x meters, and cut off this part, the remaining part, what will be the length of the remaining part? It is 70 minus x and minus x, right?
Mm.
So that's 70 minus 2x. In similar way, here the whole length is 50 meters, and here I'm talking about this length. So just cut off this part, which is x meters, and also cut off this part, which is x meters. What is the length of the remaining line segment? That is 50 minus x minus x. So that is 50
Thank
minus
you.
2x. Okay.
Thank you.
So Daphne and Imran, here, this 56 is rejected. Why? Because if you substitute here, for example, 70 minus 2 times 56, it's a negative number, right? So negative number cannot be used to measure the length, right? If you substitute, it cannot be the answer. It will be negative. For example, 70 uh, here, assume that this x equals 56 the answer. Then 70 minus 2 times 56. What is it? It is negative number, right? So this 56 cannot be the answer because we don't use negative number to measure the length. So that is rejected. The answer is 4. So everything is in meters, dot, dot, dot. The width of the path around the rectangular area is, what is it? That is 4 meters. Okay. Okay, guys, let's solve one more question, and after we will finish the class. Is it okay? Do you have time, or you have another class?
I have time.
Let's solve one more question, okay? And after that, we will finish today's class. And after that, I mean, if you are busy, you can leave. If you have any question, you can ask, and we can have discussion. It's fine. Also, for me, after you, I don't have class today, so the base and the height of a triangle are x plus 3 centimeters and 2x minus 5 centimeters, respectively. If the area of the triangle is 20 centimeters squared, find x. Even here, we don't have to draw. We know that if you're given any triangle, maybe to visualize this, I can draw this. Here we are given a kind of triangle, and it says that's the base and height. So base is x plus 3 centimeters, and this is the altitude or height, that is 2x minus 5. And how do you find the area? We know that the area of the triangle is 1 over 2 times base times height, which is equal to 20. From here, 1 over 2 times, what is base? It is x plus 3 times height. It is 2x minus 3. That's equal to 0. So not 0, 20. So if let's multiply both sides by 2, because I don't want to have fraction here, and expand this part. X times 2x, 2x squared, x times negative 3, negative 3x, plus 3 times 2x, it is 6x. So here we have plus 3x, because negative 3x plus 6x, that's equal to 3x. 3 times negative 3, it is negative 9. And on the right hand side, we have multiplied already by 2. So here we have 40. Or here we have 2x squared plus 3x minus 49. That's equal to 0. So we should factorize this. Here, the coefficient of x squared is not 1. So how do we do that? Let me just write it as 2x times x, because x is 2 is a prime number. The only way to factor is this. Also 49, either it is 1 times 49 or 7 times 7, right? So if I write 7 times 7, does it work? 14 and it doesn't work. Imran, where did we make a mistake? We made a mistake, small mistake somewhere here.
-7.
No, here, right? Actually, it should be
Oh, okay.
2x minus 5, but here I wrote 2x minus 3. That's why we cannot factorize it. I can solve this, but we need to use a formula here. At that time, what will be the answer here? I mean the equation here. X times 2x, 2x squared, x times minus 5, minus 5x, plus 6x. So this should be plus x. And 3 times negative 5 minus 15. On the right hand side, we have 40. Okay, sorry. So here we have 2x squared plus x minus 15 minus 40 minus 55. That's equal to 0. So here we have 2x times x. How about 55? Maybe 1 times 55 or 5 times 11, right? So we can just write it as 11 times 5. So it is minus here. So this should be minus. Why should be fine? Because if you check this, 2x times negative 5, negative 10, x times 11, 11x, the sum is x, right? So for we have to check that if it is wrong, then I can put minus maybe in front of 11. So now it works here. So we can factorize it as 2x plus 11 and the x minus 5, that's equal to 0. So from here, 2x plus 11 should be equal to 0, or x minus 5 should be equal to 0. From the first one, x equals negative 11 over 2. From the second one, x equals 5. Again, if it is minus 11 over 2, if you substitute here, it will be negative. So negative cannot represent the length. So this one is rejected or inadmissible. So dot, dot, dot. The question is find the value of x. The value of x is 5. Okay. Any questions, guys? No.
No.
Defna, Imran, Musa,
Ultimate.
you didn't have any test yet, right?
Yes, I didn't have.
Guys,
Yes.
let's talk about your test for a few minutes, and after that we can finish. But if you're too busy, you can leave the room. Okay. So okay, here you can see my screen, right? Okay, the last question is chapter 3. That was a homework. And as I told you, if you remember, maybe you might forget or still you remember this. After each 3 chapters, you're going to have tests. Okay, how you will do the tests? Let me show you the test. Just one example here. Let me just show you the test from, okay, test 1. All right. This is your test. All right. So if possible, you have to print it out and you have to do this. Or, and Daphne, Imran, Musa, I don't know if you have access, if you can write on the screen, and also you can do on the screen. Okay. You know how to do that? You have to open this PDF file with Microsoft Edge. You know how to open with Microsoft Edge,
Yeah,
right?
I
Okay.
can do it.
For example, if I open this file with Microsoft Edge, let's say right click, open with Microsoft Edge, and you can write everything here and you can save it. It would be great if you can do this. For example, let's say draw, and I want to solve this question. What is the largest number of books at 3.50 for each that you can buy with $30? So that means that to find this, n should be equal to 30 over 3.5, and that's approximately equal to, maybe it is 8. So dot, 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 your answer is 8 books, for example. Now, after that, you can save it. You can save it, and also on the cover page, name and surname, you should write your name and surname and submit it to me. How will you submit this? Look, your file name, you should just say test1, and after that, defna. Okay, your file name should be like this, test1 and defna. So I can see, looking at your file name, this is defna's work. This is the number one, if you can write on the screen, okay? And you can save it and send it to me. If you cannot, you have to print it out and do it in the paper. As you see here, Imran Musa, after each question, there is enough space. You have to do all your work here. Okay, and this is a trial test. Let me know. First, we have to know how to do tests like this and how to submit it. Otherwise, if you don't submit as I expected, okay, or as I expect, then it will be a lot of burden for me. Okay, because I'm not teaching only you. I'm teaching, I don't know, a lot of students. Usually to my students, for example, and even in the university, I have more than 100 students. If they send me like this, I don't accept this. Okay, they have to do this nicely in the right order. Okay, when they actually scanning this, they should use Cam Scanner. As I told you, Cam Scanner. It's very good app. Okay, and you have to save your work as a single file, as a single PDF file. And when you're submitting this, what is it? Test one, and after that, add your name. It is, for example, let's say exercise 2ABC, right? Exercise 2ABC, and after that, add your name, so that in this way, I can organize your work easily. Okay, so in this way, our communication with each other, it will be more efficient and also easy. Okay, guys, so I have already sent chapter 3 homework, and today I'm going to send this test 1, and let me see how it works, okay? Because the most important thing here is discipline, all right? Because if we just don't go with discipline, actually, I don't know, we cannot obtain or achieve what we expect. Okay, so you have to practice, do it. If you can print it, use camera scanner and scan it well, nicely, and send it to me. So your work is finish this assignment 3, and also I will send you test 1, okay? Do it and submit it to me as soon as possible. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow, if possible, before Monday.
Okay.
Okay? And we have class
Okay.
on Monday, right?
Yes.
Yeah, before Monday, and after that, during the class time, if you have any question, we can have some discussion. These are easy questions, not so difficult. First, as I told you, you should learn how to do this kind of test and how to submit it to me. Then after that, I will ask some different questions, maybe 10 standard questions and maybe 5 or 6 non-standard questions. In this way, actually, we'll just improve our math. Okay?
Okay.
Daphna, thank you very much. We are going to listen to you maybe next time. Okay, now it's already a bit late. Or if you have time, you can explain, you can tell me about your journey. Okay, Musa and Imran, thank you very much. If you are busy, you can leave now. All right, today's
Something
class
that
is, huh?
that different. I just